Good marketing only exposes a bad product faster. Hello, my name is Tendai and welcome to the Good Name Marketing Podcast. This is a place where we'll be talking about how some of the biggest and some of the smallest brands have started, have grown, and have scaled to become the brands that they are. And today we want to be focusing on a product, on the offering. I know some of you are into selling services and some of you are into selling products. But today we want to talk about the offering as a whole and how some of the best brands in this world have not just become best brands because of their marketing or because of their sophisticated logos and things like that. So the first thing I want to focus on today is your product or your service is supposed to solve a particular problem. Think about Amazon. We only use Amazon whenever maybe we need something delivered next day or even in the next 24 hours. Amazon is solving a real problem of convenience. So there are some times when you are in the comfort of your home and you just are not in the good mood to cook. And the next thing you're going to do is to order something online. So that's the problem that they're solving as services. And as an organization, as a business, or as a brand, you need to focus on what problem you are solving. Otherwise, you might spend so much money, millions of money, trying to market the product, but as long as the product is bad, it just exposes it faster. So, how do we start to ensure that our problem is being solved by our product? I remember when I used to work for this company, I was in charge of getting a product into the market. And one of the things that I did was to research first. But the thing, before I was given those products, initially I had given dead products. And what I mean by dead products is I tried to sell them as much as I could, but I just wouldn't get like as many sales. I never got any sales at all. So what I did was to actually do a research, and I went into the market, went and spoke to the clients and to the target audience. And guess what? I figured out that this product was actually dead, and that's not what the clients needed. So that means this product wasn't solving any problem that the market had. So that's what you have to do when you want to introduce a product into the market, or when you've got a product or even a service. Think about, is it solving a problem? If it's not solving a real problem, you need to go back to the drawing board. The next thing I want to talk about is differentiation. What makes your product or your offering or your service unique? That's one of the things that makes some of the biggest brands in this world the big brands that they are. For example, Apple. Apple sells phones, but in it selling phones, what differentiates it from Samsung? What differentiates from Huawei or from other brands that are there? That's the differentiation aspect that you need to pay attention to when you want to grow your product or your service and to make sure we grow big brands. So with Apple, how different are they? So with Apple, I know some of my peers, they use Apple because it's got good picture quality. I mean, it can be disputed. I mean, according to my opinion and my friends' opinions, they think that Apple has got the best picture quality. But at the same time, some of my friends think that, you know what, Apple is not a very good product or because the battery is not just good. And that's their own opinion. I mean, you've got your own opinion about whatever phone brand that you use. But what I'm saying here is there has to be something different about the offering that you are providing to your audience or to your customers. As long as you're not different in any way, as long as you've got nothing new or nothing unique to offer, then your product, you're just wasting time and wasting money, even resources in trying to market it. Because you can't really market a bad product and you can't really market a product that's just, that you can just get on the next in the next store, or you can't just market a product that's readily available, but it has to have something different about it. So those are some of the two important points that I needed to raise today to make sure that when you are marketing, when we want to grow a good name for our brands, for ourselves, we need to make sure that the product initially it solves a problem, and then the other thing, it's different in some way. Finally, today, I want to talk about market fit as one of the elements of your product or your offering that you have to pay attention to. So what I mean by this is, I remember there's a story I once heard where this CEO always says, whenever we're having a board meeting, that you always have to have an empty chair in the room. And the reason why they have to have an empty chair in the room is because that chair represents the customer or their client. So what they're trying to say essentially is, in every meeting that we do as an organization, it doesn't really make sense unless we've got the perspective of the customer. We can't just make products for the customer and just market it at them, but we have to involve them in every step of the way. And market fit is one of the most important things when you're considering your offering or your product. Remember, this podcast is about trying to explore how some of the biggest brands have done it. And one of it is product focus. So what I mean by market fit is, think about it. Does your product actually fit in the customer's, if it's lifestyle, or does it fit in their, list of needs, right? We spoke about a product having to have a problem that it solves initially. And going back to the story that I shared earlier, where I was given this product to market into the space, what I figured was that this product was a great product, great quality, but then the wrong market fit. It wasn't just fitting to the market we wanted to penetrate into. So what we had to do was to do research. So when you're developing your product and you want to develop a good name for yourself, you don't just think, oh, I want to market this product or I want to do this, but you actually have to make sure that that product or that service has got a perfect fit. So let's think about the brands that are out there. Let's think about Louis Vuitton, for example. This product, they know their target audience. They know that their products, their craftsmanship, their unique value, what they're selling, it's so unique to an extent that it really fits into their target audience. If it didn't fit in their target audience, nobody will even be talking about it. So I want you to think about your product and think, or your service even, how it fits into the market. Is it giving convenience? Is it solving a particular problem? Is it giving somebody happiness? Like initially we spoke about how it has to solve a particular problem. And in doing that, we are creating great names for our own brands and for our own products or services. So thank you for watching today. I hope you found this useful, and see you on the next video.